Hey, what's up, Tamers? It's Dev from DevsUtopia here, and I came in third place playing Yellow Wargreymon during the YuGiMons Webcam Tournament, and I won this mat that you see right here, my first ever cloth mat when it comes to card games in general. I've always stuck to rubber because those were the ones like ready accessible, but this is, I think I converted. I think I converted to cloth mats. I might try to get more in the future, but yeah, no, like so it wasn't a huge event or nothing like that or anything. People were trying to play for the cloth mat, especially the two-player one that the first place got and everything. So I just wanted to show off this deck profile and share with my opinion of Yellow or Greymon and future thoughts and everything of how to make the deck better and etc. While also making a special announcement later on in the video, we're going to be having another uh, win a mat tournament in the near future, not in July. So regardless, let's start off. Let's just get started, and everything. Let's start off with some Digi Eggs. We run one copy of Wargreymon, the one from BT4 and everything that says once per turn, 3 or fewer security, negative 1,000 DP on one of your opponent's Digimon. That really comes in handy, especially when it comes to Digimon that have like 7,000 DP, so it needs Wargreymon's effect, and then this effect will just clear those level 5 Digimon that kind of get in the way, as well as for Upamon because draw support is really important. We have a lot of important pieces that we run at 2 and etc. And I feel like this being at 4 is very important to see those cards that you need to see, especially since you're taking away your security almost every turn that you're in Wargreymon. So that's it for the eggs. So we run 2 copies of Chaosmon Voldarm. This can be bumped up to 3. It's really personal preference. I think 2 is fine. There's not a lot of times where I just be like, I need to go into Voldarm unless it's like a mirror match. And even then, it's just like Voldarm is really handy when it comes to either making sure that your opponent can't build a board anymore or coming back from someone Voldarming you. So like, during the mirror match and everything is really important, as well as against the green OTK because their Chaosmon is still 14,000 DP, and if they do get rid of your security, the least you can do is get rid of their Chaosmon. So yeah, that is all for 7s. We run 4 copies of Wargreymon, boss monster in the deck. You really want to make sure you see them, and there's again one of those things of this is the boss monster. You really need to see it, and if you don't see it, you're going to probably have a bad time. So that's why I put it at 4. I know a lot of people are putting it at 3, but I'm not that lucky. I don't see it as often as I want to, and sometimes it takes a long time to see it in general. So that's why I also play 2 copies of Slash Angimon. Slash is a really good supporting boss monster, mainly because it still fits the aesthetic of depleting DP. The negative 8,000 sometimes comes in clutch, especially when you just want to swing into the Digimon that you neg instead of swing into security. Because again, that 8,000 is kind of bad, but it's you got to balance the game somehow. And a lot of times and everything, I wouldn't even digivolve into Chaosmon from Wargreymon. I would prefer to neg 8, then digivolve for 6, neg 7,000 from 2 different Digimon, etc., etc. That's what I just prefer to do, to be honest. If I have the Wargreymon, depending on the matchup, really. If you're going against something like Ragnar Lordmon or Red Omni, etc., where the boss monsters are 12s and etc., then yeah, it's a good idea to probably just go into Voldarm immediately. But I digress. We'll talk about combos and etc. Later on throughout the video. When it comes to level 5s, we run 4 copies of Wargreymon as well as 4 copies of Angimon. Very standard. When you play this deck, the main card that you need is Angimon. Even if you can't afford the Volta Arms right now, or if you're just trying to make Yellow Wargreymon and you're missing a few cards, the one card that I believe that you really need in order to make the deck work is Angimon. from set 3 or 1.5. I believe it was like either 1.5 or 1.0 special booster. But yeah, no, Angelwoman really makes this deck what it is. We're able to swarm the field late game. Or if you Blinding Ray, you can do it early game as well. But you get what I'm saying. And then Wargreymon's Inheritable comes in really clutch, especially against the mirror match sometimes. Because, swinging for 12 is better than swinging for 11, especially since a lot of the meta boss monsters in this set 4 meta are just 11. Like, there's only a few exceptions, of course, like Nidhoggmon and etc. But, like, just swinging for 12 is a lot safer. But, of course, if I had the choice, always go into Angelwoman first, and then maybe your second stack would be Wargreymon. But, the Wargreymon is at 4 also because of the Digiburst 2. We don't have a lot of inheritables. Our level 4, you'll see soon, but our level 4 and level 3 line up. We don't have too many inheritables. So, I don't mind Digibursting at all before I Digivolve into Slash, or if I Digivolve into Yellow Wargreymon. When it comes to our level 4s, we run 4 copies of Pedomon. Champions are very standard as well. 4 copies of Toryumon. Having these 1 to Digivolve is really important, especially when it comes to memory choking. And this is 4 copies of YuGiMons. But as you can probably tell, after the event, after coming in 3rd place, I realized, I need another level 6 because a lot of my losses, a lot of my game, best 2 out of 3, of course, and everything. A lot of my losses because I couldn't see my level 6. So playing 6 level 6s, wasn't good enough. You got to bump it up to 7. I don't think YuGiMon is necessary at 4. I see my level 4 is good enough, especially since we played the 4-drop TK. And also I can hard drop this and recover too, just in case I'm being rushed with way too much, as well as still go into Vault of Arms since it is a yellow Digimon. So, but after that tournament and everything, I run 3 YuGiMon, 4 Toryumon, and then 4 Pedomon. And I've been test playing a lot. I've been playing against my friends and everything. Yeah, I really like it. But I just want to make sure to tell you all the truth about what my deck was. I didn't want to change it too much, but I can't find my 4th copy of YuGiMon anymore. I don't know where I misplaced it, so I couldn't switch it back. Onwards to our rookies, we play 4 copies of Pulsemon. The promo that is godlike and makes the deck completely different. If you don't have Pulsemon, I'm pretty sure you noticed, but if the deck profile doesn't have Pulsemon, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump just to replace Pulsemon or just make up for Pulsemon. And I feel like when it comes to Yellow Wargreymon, Pulsemon is needed. When it comes to Shine, I don't think Shine Greymon, upgraded Shine Greymon, I don't think needs Pulsemon that much. We also run 3 copies of the Salamon from set 3. When attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 1,000 DP. And again, restanding, so that's negative 2,000 to a rookie. Or if you're short and there's a Digimon that's 8,000 DP, negative 6 from it, swing, negative 7 from the first swing, negative 1 again from the second swing, get rid of it. Really important that people remember that this isn't a once per turn, unlike the 3 copies of Patamon, which is a once per turn. Again, run it at 3 because it's not like I'm not Shine where it's I'm not Shine Greymon where I can just neg willy-nilly and just be now your board's going in one go. Because I have to either swing multiple times to destroy something by decreasing its DP, or I gotta target rookies as well as blockers and everything. I just run this at 3 instead of 4. I don't think it's necessary to put it at 4. I'm still debating on. This number is just really good. I've been playing testing it still. This is how I did it during the tournament. So I think 3 is completely fine. I also run 2 copies of 4-drop Salamon. If you have 3 or fewer security charge, and this Digimon dies. Recover 1 comes in clutch, especially when you know for a fact that they're going to either board wipe you. I love using one of my friends who uses use Alter S, and what I like to do and everything is basically if I know that they have to use Alter S, I'll put down a lot of Salamons. I'll put down hopefully both Salamons and everything, and then they're deleted because I think it's 5,000 DP or less. They're deleted, so I'll just gain the recovery back. Of course, that's for that specific matchup. And we run 2 copies of Lucamon. I think Lucamon deserves to be at 2. I don't know about 3 or 4, but I believe Lucamon is really good at 2. Being the 5 drop when you have 10 cards in the drop zone and everything is really good. And also it being 10,000 DP is cool. But I don't think you should run it at 3, only because you can't digivolve it into a blocker or nothing like that. It's just Lucamon. 2 copies of YuGiMons. I've seen people run this at 4. It bricks my hand when I run it more than 3. I dropped it to 2 because sometimes I can just steal the game with just having Angelomon bring this out into the board. I usually just wait last minute or late game in order to just have this come into fruition. So that's all for our rookies. We run 3 copies of Blinding Ray. Now, these 3 copies of Blinding Ray has saved my butt so many times, where basically I would almost put myself almost at 10 because I would basically have no security left. And before I start trying to recover, before I start trying to play the recovery, playing the recovery like Lucamon and everything, I would basically Blinding Ray multiple times if they were in my hand. Get to a lot of memory, and then hopefully go into Wargreymon, play Lucamon for free, this and the other, and just try to attempt to capitalize off of having a lot of memory for one turn. There has been times where I've accidentally I needed the memory, used Blinding Ray, got rid of the TK. That was but it's those are far and few between. Sometimes I just get it late game. It doesn't clog up my hand at 3. I just wouldn't run it at 4 because again it doesn't have no security effect as well. So, and then 3 copies of TK because sometimes you just really need to fix your hand. There's been times where I knew I was going to break really hard because I didn't have no rookies in my hand and my rookies were in security. So again, I think it's worth being played at 3 because there's also that threat of Blinding Ray one of them away, as well as having a few of them either at the bottom of the deck, etc. TK is really essential. Unlike a lot of other decks that only run Tamers at 2, I just think 3 is very important for your lower grade. So, but if you don't agree, if you only want 1, 2, because you think 3 is unnecessary, then I would at least suggest that you turn this TK into a Hold On. And that's it for the deck profile. Then now we're going to go over and talk about some combos as well as some matchups and everything. So be right back. Welcome back, Tamers. Now we're going to go over some little quick, just simple, combos and everything, things to consider when you're playing Yellow Wargreymon. Now, again, because it's the meta deck and everything, and how it's easy to play Yellow Wargreymon. I'm not going to lie. It's one of those things where it's, easy to play, hard to master, and if people disagree and everything, again, you'll have to just show them yourself as you do a mirror match. Because, there's the biggest thing is you need to understand all of your matchups when it comes to Yellow Wargreymon. You can't just no-brain this as much as Rookie Rush. Blue-Green Rookie Rush was more one of those decks where everything where it's just on autopilot. In this deck, you really need to prioritize what you need to get rid of, etc., etc. If you've been playing in competitive events and everything, you probably noticed that a lot of people have been leaving their boss monsters in the Raising area. This deck is no different. If you have a clear way all the way up to Wargreymon and everything, just leave it in Raising area. Because if you can't digivolve into Wargreymon and then still do stuff during your turn and all that, there's no point. There's no point of going into the battle area without knowing that you can digivolve and swing at least once. That's the very important thing. whenever my opponent is trying to like swarm the board or just call a lot of rookies, that's when I'll have like a Ubermon, just a random stack. Let's say in my hand I have to digivolve to a Pulsemon, and this is probably like the most preferred Pulsemon, Toriyamon, and Wargreymon. If I notice that they're trying to call a lot of Digimon to the field and maybe swarm me, call a lot of rookies, or just either boss like if I can try to like call the herd and everything, I would basically raise up early and then Digiburst 2, hopefully destroy something. Hopefully destroy something with just the 4,000. If I can't and everything, I'll try to go into Slash, or if it doesn't pass my turn, I'll of course go to Wargreymon and then swing. But I really prefer Wargreymon in this deck because, of course, making it 12 if you have 3 or fewer. But at that same time and everything, you can still try to have that minor version of control early on with the game. There has been times and everything like we play 6 Digimon with Inheritables. So when it comes to making a decision, if I have a Salamon under my if I need to use Wargreymon's effect, and I have a Salamon under it when attacking, depending on how early game it is, like if it's mid game and I only have like 3 security and etc., then I'll keep the Ubermon. But if it's early game and I have a lot of security left, I'll pitch the Ubermon for the Digiburst skill because I find more value in Salamon because it's a one attacking and not a once per turn. And of course, if it is one of those things where it's like, if it's Patamon instead, I'll pitch Patamon because it depends on how my hand is. Patamon can only really give you that extra memory if you know for certain you can neg something to death. And like I said, there has been times where people have been leaving their boss monsters in raising area. Not saying that they shouldn't, but it's what can you really gain from Patamon if the boss monster, if there's only one Digimon that you can't get rid of on field, and then their other Digimon is in the raising area, I don't gain nothing from Patamon. So I would pitch the Patamon instead of the Ubermon because of the draws is kind of more important. Usually the draw is more important than gaining one. But again, case by case basis. Against Green OTK, it's a really rough matchup only because they can change their entire playstyle to just, making it harder for you to capitalize. And you shouldn't be able to sweep every single deck with Yellow Wargreymon. Yellow Wargreymon is not tier 0, in my opinion, it's tier 1. So it's not like, you can beat every single deck effortlessly. You're going to have to think, because the problem with Green OTK is they can either do their original gimmick and just swing through all of your security, especially if you start getting rid of your own with Wargreymon, so you have to slow down. They can go into Nidhoggmon if you're not careful. So it's one of those things of if you can build that second Digimon and have it in raising area, I'll raise first one, try to build the second one, leave it in raising until I can try to see if I can either win the game entirely, etc., etc. And they can do that too. They can leave in raising area and then have Tentomon give them an extra card in their hand, etc. And that's when Wargreymon really comes in handy of just making sure that Tentomon dies next turn, dies before the next turn, before it can turn into a block, or it can turn into a different stack. When then they'll go into Grand War and give extra security attacks, blah, blah, blah. You really got to just think about the purple matchup in a way of you gotta be wary of Trump Sword, of course. You have to swing. You can't just be unsuspended and then swing this Trump Sword. I don't think it's that hard going against purple as much as it is going against green, mainly because when they bring back their stuff and all that, you can always get rid of it. That's the only time when I make sure not to pitch Patamon, because against purple, their Digimon's DP is a lot lower than usual. So I'll always try to make sure to go Patamon first before I go into Salamon, because I don't think Salamon's that much needed against that matchup. It's more needed against red, green, I believe black even too. So, and that was just some quick advice. This is a really good deck in general. The way you build it depends on everything. And again, I wasn't joking when I said if you don't have the 4 Pulsemon or the 3 Pulsemon or whatever, replacing Pulsemon is a hassle. So if you can and everything, save up money and try to get a playset of it, at least one playset of it, so that you can have more flex spots and everything. Like I said, I've been practicing with Magna. What was it? Magnadramon. Magnadramon come in handy, especially if I don't have to hard cost it. I could just digivolve into it from YuGiMon and then swarm the field that way. Or if I'm really struggling and I'm going against that green matchup, like I said earlier, like that green matchup is the perfect reason why Magnadramon is in here. So gaining that 2 recovery 2 is really important against green OTK, especially if you just need to try to push, and as well as not be destroyed by lethal. As hopefully they don't have a huge field that you can't recover from, but I digress. And that has been all of the tips I can really give you when it comes to this deck. There's not a lot of complicated mess with this deck and everything. It's all about your situation that you're in. Slash might come in handy more than going into Wargreymon, depending on the moment. And sometimes and everything, you just gotta digivolve YuGiMon. Even if the Digimon's in the raising area, sometimes you just need to go into YuGiMon so that you can guarantee to play Lucemon for free if you're at 3 or less, etc. And that's really it for the deck profile. Thanks for sticking with me and everything and watching. And now onward to the special announcement. Hey, what's up, Tamers? Yeah, so the announcement that I've been casually mentioning during this video and the last video is the fact that the YuGiMons Win-A-Mat Tournament is not a one-and-done thing. Yeah, so closer to Set 5, me as well as my co-host on Tamer Talk and Fusion are going to host another Win-A-Mat Tournament after Set 5 releases. The reason we're trying to figure out the precise date as of now, because we don't want to clash with any of the official tournaments or even pro play games, which will basically blow us out of the water. We're not trying to have it's just going to be our second time attempting. Well, it's going to be my first time, his second time attempting to have a webcam tournament in general. So we're going to probably cap it off at 60 players. Top 16 will basically get packs of Set 5, and top 3 will be able to get a custom playmat. First place will be the only one that'll be able to choose their favorite Digimon, and of course we'll commission that Digimon to be placed on the playmat, etc., etc. We're still trying to find some judges. We already have a lot of cool volunteers and everything too, and we're just trying to do our due diligence and make sure that everything runs smoothly. When it gets closer to the actual date, I'll make I'll make a video and everything announcing when signups are open. But if you do want to keep in touch and even maybe play test against me or in Fusion, I really suggest joining the YuGiMons Discord server. As you can probably tell from the name and everything, it's a mixture of just the Yu-Gi-Oh community as well as the Digimon. We have a lot of cool and humble Digimon as well as Yu-Gi-Oh players, and it's really fun. We get to test play as much as possible. I usually use some wacky build that I don't show a lot. I try to do my very best to make something that just seems like it doesn't work and make it work. And of course, I test play for other tournaments in that server as well. And yeah, if you want to just keep up to date and everything, that's the best way to do it, is just to join Discord channel and either have everything else muted except the announcements. Besides all that and everything, I hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.